Many mixers like to build their drum mix from the bass drum because it's part of the foundation of the song. In this segment, I'm going to show you how to start with the bass drum first and build your mix from there. The first thing we're going to do is take notice that there's two kick drums. It says kick in and kick out. That means that there was a microphone inside the bass drum and there was another one that was outside the bass drum. So the very first one that we'll raise is the kick in inside the bass drum because it's a little bit more aggressive sounding. And now we'll bring the kick out. And you'll find this has a lot more bottom to it. You can hear the low end come in. If we have too much, that's all we have is low end. Now the best way to do this is just bring it up enough that you can barely hear it. And that's about the right level. Okay, now that we got that level and we can look over here, we see on the master, it's going about -10 on its peaks. That's a good place for it to be. And now we've already assigned a subgroup. Now we're going to engage it on the kick drum. And the reason for that is now with one fader, we can move both of those channels up and down in level and still maintain the relative balance between them. So now that we got the sound on the kick drum, now we're going to bring the snare up to about the same level. Now it doesn't mean it's the same level on the channel fader. It means it's the same level that we're listening to, the same relative level. So bring the snare top up. Let's go from the beginning again. And once again, we have two mics on the snare. We have one on the top and one on the bottom. One on the bottom usually gives you a bit more snap because all it is capturing the sound of the snares themselves. So let's bring that up. It's about the same as with the kick out. Bring it up until we can just about hear it. Here we go. If we bring it up too loud, it gets very trashy sounding. And that's not what we want. Here's what it sounds like without it. You can hear it. Just adds a little bit of EQ to it, a little bit of top end. There's the sound of both of them. Now if you look over on the master fader, you can see how all of a sudden it went from about -10 to about -7 on peaks. And this is what happens. If you have the same level of two instruments, you'll get an increase of around 3 dB. The next thing I like to do is bring the overheads up. And the reason why is the overheads will add to the overall sound of the drum kit. There are two types of overheads. You have overheads that are used just as cymbal mics, so they're really close to the cymbals, and then you have other overheads that are up higher trying to capture the overall kit. Either way, you'll do about the same thing. Bring them up until you can just hear the cymbals on cymbal crashes or ride cymbals. Let's go back to a place where there's... There we go. And we'll bring the second one. We're not going to pan them yet, we're just going to bring them up. We don't want those cymbals too loud, but we do want to be able to hear them. We want to hear them with definition. The next thing we're going to do is bring the toms up. Now, one of the things that will happen is the toms will change the sound of the entire drum kit. That's not a bad thing, but it happens all the time. So you can't fall in love with what you have right here without the toms, and then all of a sudden have the sound change and then worry about the fact that it's changed. It's a fact of life. It is going to change. So here we go. Bring the middle tom up first. And you can hear how everything has changed already. Mute it. You can hear the ring of the tom. You You can hear more low end of the kick. You can hear more hi-hat. Watch this, we'll bring the other ones up. Especially this one, you can really hear it on this one. On the floor tom. Now once again, this is normal. This is the way it should sound. It's not going to sound as clean as you might think. Now let's go back and listen again. And what we want to do is go to a place in the song where it has a lot of tom fills already. So you center around a tom fill, and what you're trying to do is find a place where you can balance the three of them together, or the two of them, or the five of them, or however many toms you have. You want to balance them so they're all the same level. So now we've already set our memory at a place where there are tom fills so we can hear them. Okay, let's go again. Have a listen. Once again, what we're trying to do is make sure that we have a nice balance between them. And then we can hear them distinctly. We don't want them too loud, but yet we don't want them too quiet. We'll bring them down just a little bit so they're more in context. There we go. Now we can hear all three of them. Pretty good level. We can hear the cymbals. Now take notice, without even bringing up the hi-hat channel, we can already hear the hi-hat fairly well. Sometimes this level right here is just enough for the song, but sometimes you need it a little bit louder. Sometimes you want to actually add to the definition of the hi-hat, and that's when you bring it up. Once again, what we're going to do is we're going to bring it up just loud enough until we begin to hear that definition. Here we go, on the hi-hat. See, if it's too loud, it overpowers the rest of the drums. Bring it down just until we hear that definition happen. There's without it. There's with it. And it's just a little bit of definition. And that's about the right place for it. Now remember, these are only starting places. And as we bring more instruments in, we're going to tweak all of these levels. Also, as we EQ the drums, as we compress the drums, as we add effects, that's going to affect the level as well. So we're going to do minute tweaks as we go along. There's one last channel, it's the room channel. Now in this case, there's only one room mic that was recorded. Sometimes there's two, so it's in stereo. Sometimes there's three of them, so there's left, center, right. What the room mic does is it gives you a little ambience on the drum kit, first of all, which is pretty cool, but it also gives a little bit of glue to the sound. So let's bring it in and have a listen. Once again, just about the time you begin to hear it is about enough, although I'm going to take it beyond that so you can hear what it sounds like when there's too much. So that's way too much room mic. And if we solo it, you can hear it sounds pretty trashy just by itself. But without it, the drum set doesn't sound as good. Right about there is about right. Now also take notice what happens over on our master fader. Let's go again and watch what happens on the drum fills. And you can see it's almost up at 0 dB. And this is why having a drum subgroup is so powerful, because now we can control the level. All of those 11 channels can be controlled by this one fader. And we can bring it down to where everything fits well in the mix. To sum it all up, your mix bus is going to get louder and louder with every drum track entrance. Don't forget, it's best to begin your mix with the mix bus meter reading at about -10 dB or so. The sound of every drum is going to change anywhere from a little to a whole lot when a new drum or cymbal is added to the mix. And this is because of the leakage that you're going to have on those tracks. And finally, each drum that enters at the same level as the current mix is going to make the master mix meter increase by about 3 dB.